Fox News alert. Do we have a deal?
We're doing well. Now we have to get what we have to get. If we don't do that, we'll have to go a big step further. But with that being said, they want to make a deal. We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours, and it's very possible that we'll make a deal.
The president says if they don't agree, the bombing starts at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. Now, I know we've heard that before, but sources say an agreement has never been closer, and morale at the White House is through the roof.
I can tell you that I was walking around in and out of the building yesterday, seeing a lot of action in the Situation Room with negotiators, and it looked like the mood was high.
POTUS told PBS that the Iran war has a very good chance of ending, and told Fox that this could be wrapped up in a week.
Well, I had a phone call with the president a short time ago, and he is optimistic about this deal, this memorandum of understanding. Thinks it is going to lead to things. He's cautiously optimistic, I should say, but thinks. And I asked him what the time frame would be. He puts it at a week, getting everything wrapped up.
So what's in this deal? This is what we're hearing. Iran must swear off ever having or seeking a nuclear weapon. Cold turkey. Their 3 main nuke sites must be completely dismantled, and they can never do any work like this ever again underground. If they start digging, we start bombing. Inspections on demand, anytime, anywhere. If they throw up roadblocks, harsh penalties. Now, here's the key piece to the deal. No more enrichment, and they hand over all of their enriched uranium. We get it. Trump was asked, well, is this a 20-year moratorium? Trump said, no, never, no more enrichment ever. Iran must reopen the strait, and while they do, we'll relax the blockade. We might unfreeze some of their money, but no sanctions relief until they show they're complying with the deal. A part of the deal's already done.
This is very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon because as tough as they are, we want to keep them alive. We want to keep all of you alive. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't. And they've agreed to that, among other things.
This looks nothing like the Obama deal. Getting the uranium out, banning enrichment, destroying their nuke sites, none of that was in the Obama deal. And this is on top of shredding their military. And good luck rebuilding it because we wiped out all their defense factories and steel plants. But the media doesn't believe any of it.
You're facing an opponent right now in Iran that has refused to submit. You seem optimistic now as you may be closer to a deal. What's different about this moment now than in other moments where a deal has seemed close?
Well, why do you say they refused to submit? You don't know that. You don't know what's going on behind
U.S. ships a few days ago.
Yeah, no, a few days ago. It's a long time ago. What's not to submit? So they had a Navy with 159 ships, and now every ship is blown to pieces, and their leaders are all dead. So I think we won.
No one really knows what the deal is, and no one knows if Iran's even going to sign it. Neither country trusts each other. They've taken Americans hostage, killed Marines, committed terrorism, and we've ripped up treaties and killed the Ayatollah. But the president's being realistic. He says it's still too soon to send Kushner and Witkoff. He'd rather just do it over the phone. Because, as you know, no one can predict what the regime does day to day.
We've had some good talks before, as you know. Right. And all of a sudden, the next day, they're like, they forgot what happened.
Today, Wall Street erupted. The Dow shot up 600 points, close to 50,000. The S&P and NASDAQ broke fresh, all-new highs. And Brent crude down over $10 a barrel over the last 48 hours.
I thought we'd be down maybe 20%, and we're up. The stock market's higher now than when we started this war. And I thought oil prices would go to $200, $250. It's at $100 now. And I think you're surprised, and I'm surprised. But even if it went to 200, it would have been worth it.
The bulls are out on the street. Billionaire money managers say they can see victory, and it was worth it.
It shouldn't be a bipartisan issue, right? You have a nearly nuclear launch-capable Iran that we've set back in a very dramatic way. They've been the major driver of terrorism around the world. They're a fierce enemy of the United States. They threaten kind of global shipping, energy, et cetera. And now the president and our military are getting that completely under control. I think we're almost done. I think it's it's weeks as opposed to many months, or it's a few months as opposed to it's not years. This is toward the tail end of a war.
You know when the fighting's over? The French show up. The Charles de Gaulle aircraft carriers just crossed the Suez Canal and going into the Red Sea. Meanwhile, great news for American sailors. The USS Gerald Ford is headed home after the carrier broke the record for the longest deployment since Nam. The blockade, though, stays until we see the gay Ayatollah's John Hancock.
We have it very much under control. The blockade is unbelievable. The Navy's been incredible. The job they did, it's like a wall of steel. Nobody goes through. In particular, the Iranians, they're not getting anything through one way or the other, so they're out of business.
Today, the Iranians tried to test the blockade, and it didn't end well.
Central Command says an Iranian-flagged vessel attempted to breach the U.S. naval blockade earlier today. CENTCOM says the vessel was warned multiple times before U.S. forces fired on it. The shots came from the 20-millimeter Gatling gun of an F/A-18 Super Hornet that took off from the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier.
The quarantine's already turned around 52 ships. It's airtight. And Project Freedom was showing progress before Trump paused it. In just the first 24 hours, 11 ships sailed safely out of the strait. It appears that Trump paused it as a good faith gift to the Iranians so they can save face to get a deal done. Watching the U.S. Navy let every single ship in the world out of the Persian Gulf except yours would have been too much to stomach. The president can always redeploy our guided missile destroyers like the USS Truxtun and throw up another protective bubble if the Persians go back to their little games. These Iranian peace shooters didn't do a thing. The Truxtun has artillery guns on deck, mounted machine guns, surface-to-air missiles, and torpedoes. Plus 400 sailors on board with Apaches and Seahawks circling overhead. Anything the enemy sends out, if it flies, it dies. If it swims, it sinks. Even though we can get ships out, Lloyd's doesn't want to underwrite a voyage under enemy fire. They have to have confidence it'll be smooth sailing. Once confidence is restored, and it looks like that's going to be done diplomatically, we think, we hope, the strait will open and prices at the pump will come down, way down. The Chinese actually helped move this thing along. They had no choice. For the first time since the war, Iran sent a delegation to Beijing. The Chi-Coms put them on a leash and told the mullahs to quit the strait shenanigans and take the deal. A week before Trump meets Xi Jinping.
President Trump has put out publicly and privately messages to the Chinese. Do not help the Iranians right now. We're trying to isolate them. We're in a war with them. Do not help them out. So the Chinese are very cognizant of that. They don't want to upset President Trump before this big state visit. So yes, I think that these things are all connected.
Sources say the president wants to end the Iran war before his visit to China, and the Chinese do too. Their economy is starting to crack, and with the strait being choked, they're looking down the barrel of an energy crisis, especially since we flipped their last black market supplier.
It's been a great thing for Venezuela. The people are really happy. They're dancing in the streets because they have a lot of money coming in through the big oil companies that are all moving in. I was with ExxonMobil last night. The chairman was here. And we're talking about Venezuela, along with a lot of them. Chevron, they were all here last night. They all want to go there and elsewhere.
China's lost Iran and Venezuela, and we're wargaming right off their shore. The U.S. Army's been test firing Tomahawk cruise missiles from Python launchers in the Philippines. The missiles as precise as they can be. One source says, if you want to hit a window from a far distance, it lands directly into that window. And the Japanese showing a little muscle, the Emperor putting on a show in the Philippines too, sending some of his surface-to-air missiles in China's direction. So the Chinese don't want any trouble, and neither does Iran. It feels like we're close to a deal. I know it's felt that way before, but as the president says, we'll see what happens. And this just in, sources say Israel's not really happy there could be a deal. They hate the Iranians, don't trust them, never have, never will, and believe Operation Economic Fury is going to collapse the regime if we remain patient. So the next 48 hours should be pretty interesting. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube. And catch full shows streaming now on Fox 1.